Welcome to today's episode of the School Success Formula with me, Lucy Parsons. Today, we've got an interview with one of our new coaches on our academic coaching team who works with our students one-to-one who elect to have that one-to-one coaching support. So today, we're talking to Sarah Olsen. Welcome to the School Success Formula, Sarah.
Thank you, Lucy. It's really good to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm so excited for you to start working with our clients. So, firstly, I'd love you to share with us something about your history and what brought you to working as an academic coach with our students.
Sure. And actually, it wasn't intentional as a career plan that I would become an academic coach. But what really swung it for me was the quality and the professionalism of the brand, and also the talent and the friendliness of the team. Academic coaching means I can use lots of my skills around mindset and coaching, organization, goal achievement, all of those. And I really love working with young people, and I know I can make a difference. So that's how I've come to academic coaching. In terms of my background, I've got a first-class degree in languages, that's German and Italian, and business studies. After that, I became a chartered accountant, and I worked in finance, in risk and actuarial, also in life assurance, so quite sort of technical, quite a technical career choice. But all that time, even though I really, really enjoyed the companies and the people, I had a real love for coaching and training. So I did a coaching qualification, and for the last about 19 years, actually, I've been coaching, running my own business and doing lots of career coaching and interview coaching and life coaching and executive coaching. And I've been an entrepreneur since then. So quite a lot of coaching experience and a kind of finance background.
But you've also been a tutor as well, working with students with languages in particular, haven't you?
That's right. I've actually got a TEFL teaching qualification, and I've been tutoring German and Italian for about 19 years. So I've got lots of experience of working with young people, both tutoring, but also mindset change as well, because people have come to me with all kinds of things like lack of confidence or worries or being unable to organize themselves, lots of the kind of issues that our young people tend to face typically.
Yeah, definitely. And I love the fact that you've got that experience working with people in terms of careers and goal setting and that kind of thing, because that's such a crucial part of students understanding why they're doing these exams. And so really being able to unlock, their personal reason for studying is just really crucial. So I'm so excited that you're bringing that to the team.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to working with that as well. I find it really rewarding. So I'm definitely out to make a big difference.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so everybody has struggles in their education, and me included. And I'd just love you to share with us a struggle that you had in your education and how you overcame it.
Okay, I think the biggest struggle was when I was doing my chartered accountancy exams, actually. So when I was out of the usual kind of formal education, there was a mix-up with my accountancy exams and my enrollment didn't happen. So instead of doing one set of exams every year, I did one set late and the next one early. Goodness. So I had a really intensive 6-week course with the exams right at the end of the course and no gaps. So I was under a lot of pressure, and that's why I wouldn't recommend leaving anything to the last minute in that way. And I didn't overcome it perfectly, and I struggled through it, and I really felt the pressure. But I did work through everything really systematically and as calmly as I could. I didn't do all the late nights socializing like all of my course mates seem to be doing, but I passed all my exams, and it kind of taught me that I'm resilient as well.
Amazing. And that you can succeed in less than ideal circumstances as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. God, that must have been so stressful when you found out what was happening and, you know, what you were going to have to deal with.
It was. And yet in these circumstances, we kind of learn a lot. I always say, you know, if someone makes a mistake, there's more learning in a mistake than there is from just doing it right.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things we say to our students, you know, when they're doing things like mock exams. It's like, well, it didn't go perfectly, but what have you learned from it? How can you do better from here? And, you know, that's all we can do in life. You know, it's only a failure if we don't learn from it, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely, which comes back again to having the mindset that we're looking for opportunities, looking to learn, develop ourselves, and that helps as well.
Oh, I love that positivity. Okay, so we've already mentioned that you have vast experience as a coach, and you've also got lots of experience as a tutor, but you're also a parent of a teenager as well. So can you tell us how all of those things combined give you a unique and helpful perspective for the clients that you work with?
Sure. So first of all, as a coach, I've spent a huge number of hours in the last 5 years coaching students into graduate schemes in top companies. And one thing that I'd really love to share with you that people may be aware of or may not, companies still look at and demand and require a certain level of GCSE and A-level results.
Mm-hmm.
So even after university, they're still asking you for this information. So that should be also, I think, an added incentive to think, right, I'm going to do those and kind of get them under my belt, because it kind of sets you up, I think, for life and your future career. Mm-hmm. Secondly, as a language teacher and tutor, I've seen so many times how big a role confidence plays in getting good results. It's really quite an enormous element. And what I've seen is that every single student has a huge innate ability, even if they sometimes can't see this for themselves. But I've seen as someone's confidence grows, their performance grows, their belief in themselves seems to be really correlated to their achievement.
Definitely. Yes. Yeah, we see all that all the time, you know, as their achievement goes up, their confidence goes up, and therefore their achievement goes up, and it's like this positive feedback loop, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like a virtuous circle. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And then if you don't mind telling us a little about your experience as a parent and how that feeds into work as an academic coach as well.
Yeah, as a parent myself, I've been really close to the journey through school to GCSE and beyond. And what I can see is that all of the hard work and the focus and cultivating your natural ability really pays off, and it's really worth it. My son's 18 and he's just got one university offer that's a firm written offer. And I can see that his future career is starting to open up based on what he's done in the past. And that makes me think of all of our students, what they're doing now. You know, if they can just go steadily and calmly and consistently, or even, you know, have a wobble, have a day off and come back the next day, in order to succeed, I think our students have got a lot to look forward to. And I can see the end of that formal education journey, at least to A-level, and the next step to university, and how much it's so much worth it. You know, whatever, you know, every minute they spend and they're concentrating, everything they do that just helps them to gain knowledge and insight and perform better, it's really, really worth it.
Amazing. Yes, it's so true. And it all just gets more and more exciting the further on you go, and the more choices you get to make, and how specific things are to you and your interests and where you want to go. So yeah, I think a lot of students struggle at GCSE because it's still very broad, but as they get to narrow down on the things that they want to do, it's more exciting, and you know, they can see where their life is going, really, can't they? Yeah, it's good. Okay, so can you give us some examples of how you've helped some young people make some breakthroughs in your work with them?
Yeah, sure. And there's several examples come to mind. I think what's consistent, or what's a kind of thread running through them all, is that I love the look on somebody's face, you know, when they get their grade or the university place, or they just feel better about themselves. And I love the fact, as we've said, that students are set for life to a certain extent when they can really get their academic results, and nothing ever changes that. And I also really love it when students I'm working with, they open up gradually, and you know, we build a trusting relationship, and we can resolve things together, them coming up with solutions, and there's a change from one session to the next. And there's a few examples that come to mind.
Oh, tell us.
One is about self-belief and confidence, because I had one student who was told that you can't do German GCSE, but he was determined, and he had a certain amount of self-belief, but we definitely needed to work on his confidence. And what we did was we worked together, and we just broke the material down into bite-sized chunks. Mm-hmm. We worked out areas that he had a clear understanding of and areas that he didn't. And he was really determined as we went through. He developed, you know, such a strong determination, and he just kept going. And needless to say, he could, and he did do his GCSE German, and he was a real inspiration. And, you know, he was wonderful to work with. He was just, you know, focused and pretty determined.
Oh, that's amazing. So he'd been told by everybody that he couldn't do it, but you helped him break it down so that he could do it, and he achieved what he wanted to achieve. That's wonderful.
Absolutely. And it just shows, doesn't it, that even though his teacher had said that, you know, you can't do it, you're not of the required level, he was still able to do it. So, you know, whatever results or feedback you've got, that's not the end of the road. It's just a stepping stone on the way to, okay, so what am I going to do now about the situation? And you can absolutely succeed.
Definitely. You said there was more than one example. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, there's one slightly longer example and one just really quick example. The really simple example was just changing the order of activities, from do homework first, then do Xbox, rather than do Xbox first, then do homework, which just worked and made a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen that one time and time again.
The other one was when I was working with an A-level student. She was quite nervous and stressed and frustrated and worried and uncomfortable. And there were three things really that we did that helped. One is that we worked out what was she really stressed about, and we addressed it. And what actually she was really stressed about was what she wasn't doing rather than what she was doing, all the things that she thought she should be doing and didn't have time to do. And that was really stressing her out. The second thing we did is we got everything in order and organized and planned so that she knew that she could take time off, knowing that things were under control.
Yes.
And one tip that I gave her wasn't from any course, it was something my dad told me. And he said to me, if you are thinking about your schoolwork, because it was back at the time that I think I was doing my A-levels, he said, if you're thinking about your schoolwork, you may as well be doing it. In other words, either do it or just have a complete break and don't even think about it. So it's a good tip, isn't it?
Yeah.
So her stress levels came down. She was just more kind of sane and present and better able to cope. And I think because she was actually able to take a break, she said that she felt as if she had more free time and also a clearer head, because when she wasn't working, she knew that, okay, I know what I'm doing when I'm doing it. And I know that because of my timetable, everything is going to get done. So actually I can take 100% break, guilt-free and, you know, clear in my head.
Brilliant. Yeah. And that's something that a lot of our students say to us about the time management tools that we share with them, is that they are able to have time off guilt-free. And so I love that you've done that with students as well. Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing those examples with us, Sarah. They're all really lovely. And I'm so glad that those young people had those successes. To end, can I ask you some quick fire questions?
Sure, let's go ahead.
Okay, so which book has had the biggest impact on your life?
Actually, I know this is a quick fire question, but I just wanted to tell you this tiny story.
Oh, go on.
It's Be Your Own Life Coach by Fiona Harold. And I was reading this book and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if I could meet her and ask her some questions? And literally the very next day, I was walking home from work and there was a little poster in Waterstone's bookshop saying, Fiona Harold to this evening doing a talk. So yeah, it's really funny. I went along and I asked her the questions I wanted to ask her, and it was just one of those really funny synchronicities.
Amazing. That's brilliant. And is that how you ended up becoming a life coach?
I was already interested, I think, which is why I was reading the book. But yes, and then we kind of, we actually ended up working with her, and we kind of thought, okay, which way do we go? And it was coaching that was my passion. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, who was your favorite teacher and why?
My German teacher, and I ended up doing this first class degree in languages and business studies, and I still tutor languages. We saw eye to eye. We had some really good rapport, and she gave out Mars bars for good work.
Ah, Mars bars, yes. Okay, and what's your favorite holiday destination?
It's Asia, actually. Before the pandemic, we went to China and it was just amazing. And Nara in Japan as well, where you can sit down with the deer. They're very tame. You can hand feed them during the day. And in the evening, you can just sit down amongst them and just, at sunset when they settle down, and it's lovely.
Oh, that sounds incredible. And what about your favorite takeaway or food?
I love Thai food, actually. I love the spicy, savory intensity of it. Really, really nice.
Oh, I love Thai as well. And what about your most used app on your phone?
I would say it's WhatsApp messages. My Zumba friends are on it. I use it for video calls if I'm away from home. Definitely WhatsApp.
Okay, amazing. I think a lot of people that would be the case these days. Okay, well, thank you, Sarah, for sharing your time with us today and some of your background and experience. If people would like to work with Sarah as their academic coach, please come over to the website. You'll find the link to find out more about our coaching packages below this video if you're watching on video, or in the show notes if you're listening to this as a podcast. Or you can just go to lifemoreextraordinary.com/study-skills-coaching. And that's where you can find out how to work with us. And from there, you can book a call, speak to Helen, our lead coach, and she'll match you up with Sarah or one of our other coaches, depending on who's the best match for you. Okay, thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you for sharing your time with us today.
You're very welcome. It was really good to have the opportunity to speak to you.
Yes, have a wonderful day, everybody, and goodbye.